5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Americans fighting in foreign wars and not for the red, white, and blue.
I think it's a very interesting question.
Tonight we verify if it's legal for U.S. citizens to serve for other countries.
Sticky and steamy. A more typical August pattern is taking hold of the bi-state. What that means for chances of widespread rain.
Our top story taken at Tower Grove Park.
For something to happen in a neighborhood where you're familiar with it, it kind of makes you take a step back and just reevaluate your surroundings.
Tonight, the investigation into multiple attacks at a popular St. Louis destination. Hours ago, the St. Louis man charged with trying to kidnap 2 women and later attacking people at Tower Grove Park was in court. Witnesses tell police the suspect committed the violent crimes over 2 days. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Kelly Jackson has the night off. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend picks up the story live from outside the city jail downtown.
Mike, tonight the 61-year-old suspect is locked up here at this jail in downtown St. Louis. He's facing a long list of charges for allegedly terrorizing people at Tower Grove Park. Tower Grove Park is known to be a popular and peaceful place for joggers, dog walkers, and families. Rena Garner loves coming here.
It's just a welcoming community. I always feel safe enough to come over here all the time.
But police say during 2 separate incidents, it was a terrifying time for park goers. Investigators say on Friday afternoon, Austin Fitzgerald was armed with a gun when he approached 2 women from behind and said, quote, "You 2 are coming with me." Police say Fitzgerald grabbed one of the victims by her arm, but after she resisted, he ordered her to follow him in her car. Officers say the suspect forced the other woman in his car and drove off.
It's honestly just an evil world, and it just makes you want to be more attentive. It's scary for women enough.
Police say Fitzgerald groped the woman, stole her purse, and demanded money before she got away and jumped into a witness's car who recorded the incident.
Both survived. That's the most important thing. Thankfully, they are going to be physically okay. I mean, obviously, now it's going to be the trauma associated with that type of incident.
Police say the next day, Fitzgerald returned to the same park, approached several people who were sitting on a bench near the Chinese pavilion, and hit the strangers over their heads and chests with brass knuckles. Police say while bystanders were trying to restrain Fitzgerald, he bit a 4th person. Park rangers held him down until officers arrested him.
Always comply with what the person is telling you to do, especially when you have a gun in your face.
Thank God that everybody was able to live through the situation.
Prosecutors charged Fitzgerald with more than a dozen crimes, including kidnapping, assault, and armed criminal action. As of this hour, he's being held without bond. We're live downtown. I'm Robert Townsend. 5 on your side.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now for the weather impact forecast with some more August-like temperatures on the way.
Yeah, it's definitely feeling like summertime. Dog days of August. You hear it all every year. We talk about it, and we're getting to that point now. The humidity's creeping back up. So are the temperatures, but it's a nice evening in St. Louis. We're on the dry side. Skies are mainly clear, just a few patchy clouds here and there. Heck, towards tomorrow morning, you might even see a meteor flying through. Perseids are getting close. That's early next week when they peak. We do have a little disturbance, though. It's more centered to the north of St. Louis, but it may try to drop to the south, which might give some of us on the Illinois side of the river just a brief opportunity to see an early morning shower tomorrow. Most of us will not. Our morning rush hour is going to feature temperatures in the 70s with a mix of sun and clouds. So what's new and what's next? We have a low rain chance that we added to the forecast tomorrow. First off in the morning, especially east of St. Louis, and then later in the afternoon and evening because of the heat and humidity, and potentially another disturbance associated with remnants of a thunderstorm heading our way. That's a big if, but it's a low chance. Otherwise, the weekend heat and humidity, confidence increasing, heat index values going back to around 100. We'll talk more about that and when there could be more widespread rain in just a few minutes.
Developing tonight, investigators continue to look for the person behind a hate crime in Clayton, and now the FBI is involved. This happened Tuesday morning. Police say someone set several cars belonging to the same family on fire. Anti-Semitic messages were also spray painted on a nearby road. The head of the Department of Justice Anti-Semitism Task Force says the individual targeted had recently returned home from serving with the Israeli Defense Force.
Here's a guy who's got 3 cars. All 3 of them are burned to the ground, right? We have this kill the IDF. We have his name on the street. So somebody obviously targeted him. And, and when that happens here in Clayton, everybody's afraid now.
And so far, no arrests have been made in this case. But this story has brought up questions about U.S. citizens fighting for other countries. So can American citizens serve in foreign militaries? Tonight, our Laura Barczewski verifies.
Our sources are immigration attorney David Cox and the U.S. Department of State. We asked, can a United States citizen fight for a foreign military?
Yes, because it depends on whether you're loyal to that country as a result of joining their military. You may not have to make a loyalty oath to join someone else's military. I think there are a number of militaries, they'll take you, pay you handsomely, I'm sure, but you're not required to say, I'm loyal to this country or this army or this fighting force, whatever it is.
So yes, we can verify U.S. citizens can fight for a foreign military, but it needs some context. While it is not illegal, it can have significant legal implications. According to the Department of State, you could lose your U.S. citizenship, but that can only happen under specific circumstances, like voluntarily joining a foreign military with the intention of relinquishing your U.S. citizenship, if the foreign military you join is engaged in hostilities against the U.S., or you take a formal oath of loyalty to another country that is not the U.S.
With many violations of the law, you have to look at the intent. When you did what you did you intend to do the treasonous act? Or were you just following orders, which of course is often an excuse that people in fighting situations face and say to justify what they're doing. So it's tricky. I think it would be hard to just automatically say, because they fought against us and they happen to be a citizen of this country, that's treasonous.
We also wanted to know if dual citizenship changes things. The answer is it doesn't.
Yeah, the fact that it's dual citizenship is really not a factor. It's just your U.S. citizenship that would be viewed in an evaluation of whether you have lost your right to be a citizen.
With your Verify, I'm Laura Barczewski.
What can we verify for you? Send an email to verify@ksdk.com. A man is free tonight after being acquitted of charges related to the accidental shooting death of a child. Tracy Smith was charged with fatal endangerment of a child and involuntary manslaughter for the incident in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood. In June 2023, 11-year-old David Winston accidentally shot himself with Smith's gun. Prosecutors argued Smith created a substantial risk by knowingly storing the gun in an unsecured place. Smith's lawyers argued he couldn't have known the risk because David's mom put him in the room where the gun was stored while she was at work. Tonight, police are investigating a carjacking in North St. Louis, which led to a police chase in St. Louis County. This all happened at around 11:30 last night in the Ville neighborhood. An Uber driver was picking up riders in the 4400 block of Kennerly Avenue. When 4 boys came out, one with a gun, they demanded him to get out of the car. Police later spotted the stolen car, and that's when the chase began. The car eventually crashed, and police arrested 4 teenagers. A lawyer who represents Uber drivers says there needs to be better safety protocols to avoid situations like this.
Requiring verified forms of payment or IDs, or at least warning the driver if there isn't such a verified form of payment or ID on the other line, or if the account had just been created 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or 10 minutes ago, some kind of warning.
In recent years, rideshare drivers have been targeted in multiple carjacking incidents. Uber says it has banned the rider's account and will support law enforcement in the investigation. Mount Vernon, Illinois police have made 2 arrests in last month's shooting that left 2 dead and 5 others hurt. Police arrested another man days after the shooting. Right now, all 3 are being held on firearms charges. That shooting happened July 27th at a block party. Hundreds of people were there when the shots were fired. Now to a live look over at Lambert Airport, where a unique new rental car service just got the green light. Our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal report a deal has been made with the rental car company Turo. It's a peer-to-peer rental car firm allowing drivers to rent cars directly from other people. An agreement today allows the company to officially operate at the airport. The cars will be restricted to specific parking lots at Lambert. The service is expected to start next month. The CEO of Six Flags has stepped down. Richard Zimmerman was a key player in the 2024 merger with Cedar Fair, but he will leave the company by the end of the year. This comes as the St. Louis location reported a $100 million net loss for 2025 second quarter. Parks across the country saw a combined drop of 1.4 million guests. Zimmerman says it was a disappointing outcome following the merger. And Bar K, the Kansas City-based dog bar, filed for bankruptcy today. It was a unique spot with activities for both humans and dogs, but it never fetched enough money to survive long term. And last week, the St. Louis location closed for good. That location opened back in 2021. About a year ago, the company faced eviction from the St. Louis location. Property owner Green Street said they owed nearly $300,000 in rent. That issue was later resolved. Well, an idea over 30 years in the making at Forest Park finally came to fruition today. Today, Forest Park Forever celebrated the completion of the East Waterways project with a ribbon cutting. It's part of a 1990s master plan to connect all the park's waterways. Now, Jefferson Lake flows into the Taylor-Kindle River, and there's also a waterfall and a footbridge.
My goodness, this is absolutely stunning. What is a project that is conserving a ton of water, diverting so much of our city's water from coming into this lake and now taking on rainwater is absolutely a stunning project.
This final phase was funded by donors to Forest Park Forever's Forever campaign. Contamination in Cades Cove buried beneath homes.
Devastation, absolute devastation. This is our home.
Tonight, North County families share their frustrations and hopelessness over the buried nuclear waste, forcing them to move out.
Triple-digit heat indices will flirt with many of us over the next few afternoons. Why it's not as brutal as the last round of heat, and if thunderstorm chances return to the region into the weekend.
Tonight, families are distraught over radioactive contamination in Florissant. Earlier this year, homeowners were told they needed to move in order to remove the radioactive waste underneath their homes. Our Justina Cornell spoke to homeowners past and present and reports on their frustrations and fears.
In the backyard of their St. Charles home, Randy Adler and his wife relax and reminisce.
We loved growing up, our kids growing up there. There's so many families that we just had, great memories with.
Pictures scattered across the dining room table.
There's only one way in, one way out.
Capture their time living in Cades Cove.
It was new. It was a new start. My kids had just suffered the loss of their mothers, so this was a new start for us.
He built his home from the ground up in 1991. He never knew his future home had a dark past. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers explained there was an old creek meander from Coldwater Creek that was covered up when the subdivision was built. Contamination was buried at a deep level. That contamination connected to the making of the atomic bomb in St. Louis.
The thing that is most concerning for me is my kids played in the foundations of all the houses that were being built. And because they dug that dirt up, they rode their bikes through, the dust went everywhere. They played in the creek because we didn't know any better.
His mind started to wander after his dad passed away.
My father was diagnosed at a very late age of 65 with multiple sclerosis. That's typically a disease where people are diagnosed between the ages of 20 and 50. So his diagnosis at 65 was very odd. He never lived in the home, but he did do a lot of work on the property.
Adler recently learned that his former home, along with 5 others, are getting destroyed by the government to remove the radioactive waste underneath.
I'm relieved that they're going to fix it. I'm mad that the government poisoned people all over North County.
He thinks of the current families there, families including this woman. She's staying anonymous since she lives in one of the homes coming down.
Devastation, absolute devastation. This is our home. This is where all of our memories are. This is where we've raised our kids. This is where we've grown as a community.
After 27 years, families like hers are forced to relocate.
We just really don't know where we're going to go. We don't know anything, and I think that's the scariest thing, is the unknown.
Once remediation is done, families have a choice to sell the property or move back, an option this mom will highly consider.
If Cades Cove is still here, I absolutely will. Only time will tell. You know, if they're able to get this all remediated and there is no more risk, you know, Cades Cove is my home.
While miles away, Adler still wonders about the contamination. And with the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act recently passing, Adler urges for compensation and care.
I would like to see yearly health screenings, cancer screenings, and if something can be caught early, let's do that. Let's take care of these people because it's the government's fault. It's not anybody that has been affected. It wasn't any of their fault.
Cades Cove will always have a special place in his heart, but it's no longer home. Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
For the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, applications are not available yet. Advocates urge folks to be alert about scammers during this time. Well, today marks 6 months until the Winter Olympics start. The games will be co-hosted by Milan and Cortina d'Ampezzo in Italy and run from February 6th to the 22nd. This year, the final qualifying event for the U.S. figure skating team will be held right here in St. Louis. And we caught up with some local skaters who say seeing Olympic-level talent in their hometown is more than just motivating.
See all of their heroes and be able to experience in person what it's like to sit in a large arena with a crowd and all of the energy that can come from that. And hopefully it motivates them to keep going on and on for years to come.
The 2026 U.S. Figure Skating Championships are set for January 4th through the 11th at Enterprise Center. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell rejoins us now with that weather impact forecast. And I guess everybody's wondering if there's any rain in this forecast, Scott, because we've had some dry days.
We have had some dry days. You know, it was very comfortable over the weekend. That's beginning to change now. You can feel the humidity coming back. Today, the rain was focused out in Kansas City this morning, and that dropped basically to the south. A few of those isolated storms made it into mid-Missouri. Even one made it down towards St. Clair, but the system fell apart. And this is what we're dealing with. These July, August, it's the complex of thunderstorms that develops to our north and northwest and how that evolves. There is a little disturbance right now that's pretty close to the Illinois-Iowa border that may try to slide down and give areas like Vandalia, Salem, and Flora a shower chance towards tomorrow morning, but we don't think most areas are going to see much in the way of rain. Still pretty warm out in the Chesterfield Valley, 81 there, 76 in DeSoto, 73 in Litchfield. We do have a few scattered clouds here and there this evening, and it's still 84 degrees in St. Louis. South to southeast breeze, 10 miles per hour, 92 for your top temperature today in St. Louis. 69 was a low. We are trending back above average over the next few days as we head towards the weekend. So it's quiet tonight around the St. Louis area. Next 5 days, your temperature trend, well, back into the low and mid-90s. And we have a little more humidity to work with as we head into the weekend. Now, it's not the same type of humidity that we dealt with last heat wave, last month, where the dew points were close to 80. Dew points this time around closer to 70. So that means the heat index values are still around 100, which means we still need to stay hydrated and stay prepared for that hot weather and deal with it. But it's not as bad or prolonged as what we saw last month. We will quickly warm tomorrow, back to around 90 by lunchtime, low to mid-90s tomorrow afternoon. If we get a complex of thunderstorms to our north, that may drop something down our way later tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. We'll see. But otherwise, the chances for rain to any one spot, extremely low going into tomorrow. We're talking just that quick warm-up. And again, drinking lots of water. So the heat of the day for the next few days, it's the humidity with the temperatures increasing. It's not a zero chance of rain, but it's a pretty low chance as we head through the weekend. So sunscreen, sunglasses, if you need your umbrella, it may be to shade yourself versus dealing with rain. 95 on Saturday. If you have plans across the bi-state region, the best chances for rain Saturday looking to be to the north and west. Same holds true on Sunday, but we do increase that chance for the metro area to about 20% by Sunday afternoon into Monday afternoon. And again, keeping temperatures above average. Those overnight lows in town, that's another thing we have to deal with because we're talking temperatures that only drop into that 75 to 77 degree range. And that's where it starts becoming uncomfortable and becoming more of a health issue, especially for our seniors. So make sure you're checking on your senior neighbors. They're staying safe and staying hydrated as we get warmer this weekend.
All right, Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, another cool honor for the Kachucks. Illinois football is on the rise, and if the Cardinals played the Dodgers all season, they would be in first place. We'll be right back. If you are one of those people who've had enough of the Cardinals this season and are tired of the mediocrity, I understand it. I really do. However, this week in LA, it was thrilling baseball. And how about this? The Dodgers, with all that star power, played 6 games against our Cardinals this season and lost 4 of them. Nolan Gorman got the call at third. He made a really good play in the third. Shohei Ohtani is like that little league stud. You know, the kid hits the ball further than anybody else. 440 feet, 2-run homer in the third. Dodgers up 2-1. And that kid usually is a pretty good pitcher. He struck out the side in the fourth. He went 4 innings, and he struck out 8 today. But the Cardinals battled back in the 8th inning. Jordan Walker, base hit. He had 3 of them. It scores Alec Burleson, and the Dodgers make a poor throw, and Mason Wynn will score to give the Cardinals a 4-3 lead. The bullpen was out of sight. I absolutely love Kyle Leahy. He should be a starter. Then there was JoJo Romero. And then Riley O'Brien got his first save. They combined to go 5 scoreless innings, and the Cardinals win a thriller 5-3.
The guys played well. That's a good team across the way, professional group across the way, and they play the game the right way. So you want to see how you match up against them. We got a young group that continues to play hard, but I like a lot of what we saw today, offensively and pitching-wise as well.
How about this story? Jen Powell is set to become the first woman to umpire a game in Major League Baseball. She will work games this weekend between the Marlins and Braves, and she will get the plate on Sunday. Powell is 48, did umpire spring training games the last 2 years. The NBA, by the way, has had female refs for 28 years and the NFL for 10 years. So to fully appreciate just where Illinois football is now, I think you have to remember where they've been. In 11 of the last 13 seasons, they've had losing years. In fact, former ABC analyst Beano Cook once said one of the biggest mysteries in college football is, why is Illinois not good? They are now. How about this? The experts say Illinois has a good chance this season to make the college football playoff. The main reason, that man, Brett Bielema. He arrived on the scene 5 years ago and has built Illinois into something respectable. The fans have taken notice as well. For the first time in over 20 years, Illinois has sold out of their season ticket allotment. It's been a process, but Bielema has the Illini thinking big, and his players love him.
Josh Whitman and I, when we first got together, we started talking about sustainable success. And, you know, we hope this is another big step in that direction, because I do think Illinois is something that can kind of hold its place in college football for a while.
Kind of just seeing how he has kind of built the program up. You know, it takes jumps each year, I think, and that's just with him bringing in more guys that, you know, can kind of he can mold into his culture.
It's different because I ain't never felt like a family or at home like I feel here, like with Coach B. You know, it's just different backgrounds, different environments. You just came here and I just feel like almost like he my pops, but he my coach, you know.
The first family of the NHL with another honor. The Kachucks don the cover of EA Deluxe edition of NHL 26. It's the Stanley Cup champion Matthew of the Panthers, the captain of the Senators, Brady, and the father, Keith, wearing his St. Louis Blues sweater. The game will be released on September 12th on PlayStation 5 and Xbox. That trio, Mike, could amass over 1,500 total goals one day. By the way, Brett and Bobby Hull, 1,351. So this family could take over the all-time league.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, coming up, we've got the collaboration for something Frank will like, a baseball glove that really stands out. The top 10 most in-demand zip codes in America for home buyers has been released, and one of our suburbs is topping the list. Baldwin ranks number 4, according to a study on Realtor.com. Houses there spend an average of just 22 days on the market. This is the 3rd year the West County town has made the list. And Rawlings and the St. Louis Zoo are teaming up to make this limited edition baseball glove. The giraffe-inspired glove will be showcased at the Rawlings Experience in St. Louis. If you want the glove, you'll have to muster up just over $1,300. All the proceeds, though, go right back to the St. Louis Zoo. Cool. And Scott has a final check of the weather impact forecast.
Well, if you're out with those baseball games tomorrow, your Cardinals coming back to town this weekend. So it's going to be hot this weekend with the Cubs and the Cards. Temperatures in the 90s, even at first pitch here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening. Tomorrow, 93, low chances for rain tomorrow, but there is a small chance a few of us might see a shower or storm.
And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. Remember, we're always streaming on 5+, and you can start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.